Hello and welcome to one of my most requested videos ever, that being how do I sort my Lego pieces. As you know, I am a Lego MOC builder, therefore I need parts to build MOCs with, and therefore the question arises, how do you sort those parts? This is that video. Basically, I'm going to go through my room, show you where different colours go, where different part types go, and how that all meets together to create my organised chaos that is my Lego collection. This isn't really a full parts tour, although it kind of is that. You can see this video is quite long, just because I wanted to show you lots of different stuff. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first and easiest way that you can sort your parts is by colour. The human eye basically sorts things by colour easiest, and it's most likely your go-to. This is what I do for colours I have in very small quantities. For example, if I open up this drawer, scoot this over, you can see that in this little bucket over here, these are pretty much all of my sand green parts. Because I don't have that many, I don't need to split this up anymore, and I know that if I need sand green, whatever the part will be found in this little tub. The same goes for dark orange, as well as the nougat colours go in here, and then this one is dark green is in there. And then sometimes if I have too little of a part colour to even fit in some of these boxes, I go to the Pick-a-Brick cups, such as you can see for pink, turquoise, dark azure. This is one which is getting too full, so we'll likely have to move to one of these boxes relatively soon. That's medium blue, there's purple, and then also lavender, as well as dark brown goes into these categories. Again, just small quantities of the part, so if I know that I need something in that colour, this is where I go. All my Pick-a-Brick cups get stored on this wall here. You can see I've made a whole dedicated video on basically what this is, but it's a shoe holder essentially, which can perfectly fit Pick-a-Brick cups and is one of the best ways to store them. A link to that video will be in the description on how best to use these, but you can start to see here how I start sorting other colours, but I've got better examples of that which I will show you now. Now, you're probably aware that I'm most primarily a Star Wars builder. And any Star Wars builder should know that the most common colours are dark and light grey. For example, if you look at Kamino, it is currently a large dark and light grey blob. The process I've taken for dark and light bluish grey is a similar process I've taken to the colours black and white. Basically, because they contrast well against each other, I kind of sort them together a lot of the time, just so you can sort through them easier and you can see the different colours. They pop out quite clearly next to each other. Like, I wouldn't sort dark brown and reddish brown together because they're too similar. These colours, they contrast against each other. For example, this drawer here is my 1x plates in dark and light bluish grey. I separate each colour into a couple of different categories. As I said before, 1x plates all go together. Those include these things as well, because they're kind of a 1x plate when you think about it, but I didn't have anywhere else to put these and I've got too many of them, so I might as well have stuck them in here. 2x plates also go together. No idea what that is, some old Amazon thing. That's all my 2x plates in dark and light bluish grey. In here is where anything which is a wedge plate goes. These also contain like rounded plates and whatnot. I am considering maybe sorting this a bit more thoroughly, because you can see that all of the larger wedge plates rise to the top, and if you want to get the smaller wedge plates, you've got to dig down to kind of find them, and sometimes these are quite hard to find through. Especially like with wedge plates, you often want to build symmetrically, and I often find myself getting like 4 of the left plates before I find a right one, and those type of annoying things, if you know what I mean. I also sort by bricks. In this drawer here, you will find all of my 1x bricks in light and dark bluish grey. Obviously, none of these drawers are full at the minute. That's largely because all of the parts are in my mini builds at the time. But you know what I mean. These are just what I've got on hand. And below the 1x are the slopes. Here's my light bluish grey slopes. This is basically anything that's got any kind of curve on it. These are like all my rounded slopes. You can see they've got dishes and different types of these kind of slopes, and a bunch of these, and basically, and there's a pen. Sometimes there's just random things in my parts that probably shouldn't be there. It also contains arches because those are also kind of curved. And these are the light bluish grey ones. I've also got some silver stuff in here as well, but you know. And I do a similar thing with dark bluish grey. You can also see this, some like these rock pieces. Sometimes if I've got a lot of the same piece together, I keep them in these kind of like little bags just so they're easier to pull out. Like you can see I do it with these grill pieces because they're useful in a ton of Star Wars MOCs, but that bag's open, so there's probably a bunch of these spilled out all over the floor. And you know, that kind of thing. As I mentioned before, I do the exact same with my black and white pieces. They contrast against each other even better, so it's easier to search through and find them. You can see like I've got a bunch of 1x2s I got off the pick a brick wall here, so there's and also my sand blues in here as well, and that's in the wrong place. I think I was using these at the same time for something on Camino. But yeah, that's basically how the similar process goes for the white and black stuff. This drawer is actually slightly different though. This is basically any white or black piece that is any kind of snot on the side, or any kind of bar, or any kind of clip, or any kind of hinge. Things like that. Like you can see I've got all of these large pieces together. The line shouldn't be there, that's just to hold them together. Like just any old piece that has some kind of clip on it, or like there's a boat hull in here, these dice pieces, pretty much anything, you know what I mean? And then it's a similar case for these colours. Basically, these are what I call my filler drawers. These are basically 1x or 2x plates in any colour which I consider unuseful. That's anything from reds to plain greens to blues to yellows, just the most primary colours. Like, and then in here you can see these are all the 1x bricks. That shouldn't be in there. Put that in its right place. And then here is all the slopes and whatnot. Like green slopes are separate because those are sometimes useful for grass. These should be in the sand green section. As I said before, my part collection is not perfectly sorted. Like, it could certainly be a lot better. See, like that needs to go in there. There are certain colours which I need to separate better than I do, such as trans pieces. Like these are all my translucent pieces in any kind of way. This drawer is a complete mess. It's really hard to find your way around it. Like you can see some different pieces are put together, but a majority of it is a complete mess. So this will be sorted properly one day. This is tan. The drawer is too full to even pull out, but you can see this is kind of bagged up. Like this is 2x tile, that's 1x tile. This is inverted slopes and things like that. This is basically what I call my rock pieces drawer. You can see I've got one of these large drawers which I've just split down the middle with some cardboard, but the cardboard's kind of been pushed to the side because I've got a lot more dark grey than I do light grey. But basically all the light grey goes in here, all the dark grey goes in here. Of just any kind of slope pieces which are not curved, these are just regular slopes. So if I'm ever building rocks, this is the drawer I immediately go to. Because as a Star Wars builder, you know you have to build rocks a lot. This is basically what I describe as my greebling drawer. This is similar to that black and white one we saw earlier, but this is the dark and light bluish grey. So anything with any kind of like bar or clip or anything like that goes in here, and it's a bit of a mess, I can't lie, but it makes sense to me. Again, that's basically how this entire thing goes. So yeah, that's all of those pieces. Also in these drawers, I forgot to show you earlier, but with the sand green and things like that, I've got some other stuff in dark bluish grey sorted. Like you can see, here's all my tiles, which are 2x or longer. You can see there's not that many in here right now. That's because they're all in parts of MOC. So this is basically any tile that's 2x or wider. And then if I move this along, this is basically all my tile which is 1x in any kind. You can see I've got a bunch of the 1x2, so they're all separated out, but that's the bulk of them in there. And then you can see behind them, this is my multicolored tile. Like you can see on the bottom here, there is a absolute ton of just random different tile colors and whatnot that are 1x, and then you can see in top that's the white ones sorted out, and those are the, I think those are the brown ones sorted out, or the black ones. And then in there is the 2x tile, that's all in there. You can see in this box also, this is my snot pieces in dark and light bluish grey. Just super useful pieces all of the time, so all of these stay together because I will never not need to use this drawer. Yeah, just really, really useful stuff. This is another random space where I store parts. Basically in this Adidas shoebox is what I call my large grey plates collection. A bunch of the largest plates go in here so they don't get mixed up with all my other ones, because these are used for different purposes really. Here's another box where I keep everything separate. This is basically my foliage box. So everything found in here is used for grass detail or things like that. There's also a monkey in here for some reason. You know, again, if I've got a huge bulk of certain parts, they get separated into their own bags, like these carrot stems or these stems, which I've got a ton of. Also these olive green leaves, which you may have seen earlier, that they all get their own pick-a-brick cup over there. But yeah, just anything from the newest pieces to these really old, bad-looking tree pieces, they all stay in here. Some more specific, like hinge pieces that don't really work inside of that drawer there, goes into their own cups like this. Like you can see, these are all like the hinge plates and bricks. These are really useful pieces, so I keep all of these together because they are usually for different reasons that I need these more than most of the other clips and hinges. This next drawer, which I'm about to show you, is the most embarrassing, even more embarrassing than the trans drawer. That's my reddish brown drawer. This is one which I've just never found the time to sort whatsoever. It's a complete mess. Like you can see there's some stuff which is kind of sorted together, like these are all my 1x6 plates. And these are some round ones, but besides that, it's just finding anything in here is kind of a nightmare. So when I've got to build things in reddish brown, like my Trident droid for example, is always a bit of a struggle because I've got to use this color which is so poorly sorted. This old toolbox here is another fun piece for part storage. I basically use these top compartments for the Technic pieces. Well, not all of my Technic pieces of course, but just the most important ones. Like here is all of my Technic pins in black and light grey. They're also mixed all around with all my other Technic parts, but these were just the ones that I could be bothered to sort out. Here is a bunch of Flickfire missiles and other half pins. You can see the reflection. Might as well just lift this up so you can see them easier. Here is all of like these joint pieces and all these red like little axle pieces. Here's the blue ones with like the axle and the pin, and then here's the 3 long ones. Inside this box you would expect them to be just a bunch more Technic stuff, but in fact we've got minifigures. This is basically a large amount of my minifigure collection. This is mainly my non-Star Wars stuff. Like you can see in here, we've got, there's a panda back there. I think that's an old Shima figure. That's a Black Panther. Just moving around, that's some Next stuff. That's an Iron Man, I think. Firefighter. It's a Hagrid body, I think. It's a Minecraft character. Just the whole gambit, really, of different characters and whatnot. All my other Star Wars figures had their own sorting system, but that's even more in depth, so that'll be its own video if I ever get around to doing that, because otherwise this video will be way too long. If you're wondering where my other Technic pieces are, they're up in here. This is another one of the worst sorted sections of my collection. Basically all down here is a bunch of different Technic stuff as well as wheels. It's a complete mess in there. Finding anything out of Technic is always really hard for me because Technic's stupid hard to sort. There's also an eye in there for some reason, but I'm not going to get into sorting this for a while. But that's all my Technic stuff up there. My 2x bricks I keep together in these bucket type things because they do not fit in any type of drawer. Like you can see in here, these are all my dark bluish grey ones, and then in here are all my light bluish grey ones. This gigantic bag over here is more filler stuff, just any other type of color of 2x brick, including whites and blacks go in here, just because I don't really use them that often, and these basically are used for filler whenever I need it to fill inside areas and whatnot. So that's basically what this giant box is here for. You can see over here is my mini storage drawers. Now these are what a lot of people use to store their parts, and I think that's a really good way of doing it. I definitely would like to get more of these. The only thing is they're very expensive and I don't actually have that much room for them. But you can see that I do sort some pieces in here if I want to go a little bit more specific. Like if I were to pull out this drawer here, you can see this is all the rounded tiles in dark and light bluish grey. Those are the 1x's back there, and those are the 2x's down here. Just useful to have on their own. Also things like, I don't know, these pieces over here. These are just gears in any way, so if I ever want to make some motion in my models and put some gears in, this is the drawer I will go to for those. This little box over here is basically all of my sticker collection. Basically any sticker sheets which I buy off Bricklink or don't end up using go into this little box here, and I basically take all these parts and use them at some point, just to have these stickers on hand in case they ever come of any use, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but it's always a nice bit of fun to just dig around these things. You can see there's about 25 of course Battle Pack ones, just to dig around these things to see if any of them become useful to me, even though some of them are completely empty, so I don't know why this is still in the box. The last thing I need to show you is over here. Like you can see there's a couple more colors separated out, like that's all my gold stuff in there. Those are some brick separators. And this box over here is basically a lot of my printed or stickered stuff. Like you can see here, anything that's got any kind of pattern or detail on it in any kind of way goes into this drawer. Like as you've seen in the other drawers, not all of this stuff goes here, but like this is a really good one here with the Death Star. You can see that's in its own bag because I don't want that to get scratched up. But there's a bunch of just random stuff in here which are always fun to look at, and if I ever needed some kind of detail, this is where I'd go. Like you can see that's from an old battle pack, that's from an old Star Wars ship, that's from something, you know, tons of stuff like that. My printed tiles are separated from that drawer. They all come to here, which is basically this like a non-Lego base plate which I got for like £1 from some kind of shop, I can't remember where. But I just bought this just to put these tiles on. So like whenever I need to look at a printed tile, if I need one for that, I'll just hold this up and I can really easily find what I'm looking for, but instead of just searching through drawers and drawers. Like you can see I've got all my hazard lines together, I've got all my circular ones together, all the money's there, look at all that cash. Just tons of different stuff. Like if I need anything Batman, I've got some big Batman ones. Just like tan stuff over here, some bluer stuff over here. Just anything useful in terms of a printed or a stickered tile. This is my base plate for all of that kind of stuff. And there you have it. That's basically how I sort all of my different parts. As you can see, I'm not calling this the best method. This is just my personal way of doing it based off the space I have. As I said, there's tons of different things I want to change. There's certain colors in different parts I need to sort out a lot more. Specifically speaking about the trans colors and the reddish brown and the Technic. Those are the ones that need the focus. But that's basically where I'm at the minute with sorting parts. But yeah, hopefully this video was of some enjoyment to you and hopefully you enjoyed it. If it did, like the video, that's what the like button's there for. Comment if you think this is a good sorting system, or let me know your own sorting system in the comments below, because I'm really interested to see if I can improve it in any way. And if you want to see what I built with these parts, subscribe so you can see them, such as that Kamino Mock and a bunch of other stuff on the channel as well as other types of Lego videos. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it, and goodbye.